Hello and welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Campbell.
Hey Nelson, what's going on?
I'm just doing the usual.
Just doing a pod.
Doing a pod.
Wow, that's bloody lovely of you and me. So, Nelson, we've been bloody guests on other podcasts this week.
Yes, we have.
Ones that won't come out for a while, but I just wanted to talk podcast show.
Yes. Well, there might be that might be our podnapping session.
Oh, okay. So you know what? I won't speak about it.
Don't you fucking dare. Okay? You ruin everything.
I do. Yeah, that's actually pretty true on this podcast. Things normally go awry because of my ignorance towards what you would plan because I haven't read the show notes.
I am elated, Camber, that you've come to that conclusion yourself.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I've been thinking it, obviously, for months now. Years, even.
Well, here is my question. Would you want me to read the show notes? Because then I would know everything that's coming up. And then would that not take away the element of surprise of, like... Because I feel like I wouldn't laugh at things as much.
Yeah, that's true. I don't like it when you have looked at stuff.
But also you don't like it when I don't.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't, Cambo. It's just the world you live in.
See, dear listeners, this is the hell that I live. No matter what I do, it's the wrong choice.
Yeah.
But I refuse to be the victim, Nelson. No, I quite like it.
Yeah.
Quite like it.
You can play the victim card.
Because then you get attention.
Yeah, that's right. You can go to work and be like, oh, guys, you never guessed Nelson. He got angry at me because I didn't know what was coming.
Oh, I'm just so useless. And then everyone's like, no, Cambo, no. We value and appreciate you.
Yeah. They might agree with me, though. That's the thing you have to think about.
Nelson, they can agree behind my back as long as they're nice to my face.
Right.
My vanity is such that I don't mind what you say about me behind my back.
Okay.
Just be nice to me, like even if it's fake.
Yeah, but that's fine until you hear about what they've been saying to you behind your back.
Well, then just be better at talking behind my back.
Oh, we're pretty good. Don't worry about it.
I don't suspect a thing.
Yeah, that's right. You seem pretty comfortable. You don't seem depressed whatsoever. I don't think we've tipped you off.
No.
So, yeah.
Anyway, in case we have new listeners, this show is about Reddit.
It's about Reddit.
The website Reddit.
It's about Reddit. What is, by the way... Because we were sort of tested on the weekend when we met other podcasters.
Yeah.
And we were tested on our elevator pitch.
Right.
What is your elevator pitch for this show? Because I realized quickly that I don't really have one.
Let me tell you, mine is a bit of a lie.
Okay.
Which I say...
We're real funny.
I say it's a podcast about Reddit in which we take the top trending or notable things from that week on Reddit and then we kind of discuss them and evaluate them and whatnot.
Okay, yeah.
Which isn't exactly what we do, but it sounds better.
Yeah. That's true. I think my problem is saying that we discuss Reddit posts. Mm-hmm. Sounds horrible. Yeah, it sounds like a horrible thing to listen to.
But Nelson,
wait, is it? Oh my god!
And this is the last episode of Reddit on Reddit.
Oh,
we've had a glass ceiling shatter above us.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, let's get into it.
Okay, let's read a post from Reddit.
Let's discuss Reddit. This first Reddit is. I don't think we've had one before of this subreddit, and I decided to give it a go. It's by Am I the Asshole? And where people recount stories.
Yep.
So they ask for the opinion of whether they are the asshole in the situation or not. You can reply with YTA, you're the asshole.
Yep.
NTA, not the asshole.
Right.
NA. No assholes here.
Yep.
Neither party is an asshole.
Sure.
Or ETA. Everyone's the asshole.
Okay. And I think I will be able to evaluate this pretty well because you can attest to this for the listeners, but I'm sitting like a bit of an asshole right now.
Oh, you're a bit of an asshole.
I've got my legs crossed. Yeah. I got my arm on the table like a cool dude.
Yeah. If I was just to put a photo in this subreddit, you'd get you're the asshole.
You're the
for sure.
asshole. Yeah.
Just
But I think me. Oh, jeez. All right, Nelson.
Oops, sorry. Kicked the
Me
table.
sitting in this pose. It's Nelson, stop it.
I keep kicking the table. I don't know whether that's picking up
I was
that.
trying to claim that I'm the asshole, yet you keep doing asshole things.
I'm trying to take the crown.
I think me sitting in this pose helps me channel the inner asshole, and I should then be able to identify my fellow assholes better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will just think really hard about like slapping kittens.
Right.
Pretty asshole thing to do.
Yeah, pretty.
Okay, so this one is, by the way, this subreddit, sometimes, it blows my mind. Sometimes it's very much, you can see people, what I think the term is called karma whoring,
Okay.
which is where you put a situation in which you are very clearly not the asshole.
Sure, yeah,
You
yeah.
could never... It's like, oh, I inoculated a bunch of children in Africa. And am I the asshole? Like, obviously not, you freaking idiot.
Yeah. I helped an old lady across the road, but then someone said I was a prick.
Yeah, that's
Well,
right.
No, you're...
Yeah. So, but there are some that are pretty good and some that are also about, if somebody is a massive asshole and they can't see it, hilarious.
Okay.
So this was kind of the best one that I could find that you could maybe go either way.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a moral quandary, is it?
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So this is by Big Bawalu. Bawala. I don't know. Anyway. Am I the asshole for making an obese man pay me cash to take up part of my seat on a long flight?
I have questions.
Okay. I'd read like a little bit of this. Most of it was TLDR, but...
Does he mention how much he made him pay?
yes.
And does he mention how long the flight is?
I did not see how long the flight was.
Yep.
I'm only going to quickly look at this, but he made the guy pay $150, which was apparently half the price of the ticket.
Okay.
5-hour flight. Oh, it's like right in the middle of like, maybe that is too long.
5 hour flight. What's that? 2 movies ish.
Yeah.
And he took up half the seat.
Yeah. He took up.
That is big, isn't it?
He took up one. He said it was 1/3 of his seat actually.
But he made him pay half the ticket.
Oh well, yeah, that's right.
Okay, no, that's a point off for him.
Okay.
Okay.
He should have sat down, got out a measuring tape. How much of this are you taking up? I will charge you that much accordingly.
Look, there's always been an urban myth, and I'm not sure whether it's true, which is sometimes if you're a larger person, that airlines will make you purchase a second seat for this very reason.
Yes.
Because people can't sit comfortably next to you.
Yeah.
However, it depends whether, like, maybe this guy was willing to do that, but maybe the flight was completely booked or something like that.
Maybe.
In which case, it really depends whether the obese guy had tried to take measures to avoid this or not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So, but
it's not his.
yeah,
It's because then I'm just kind of blaming him, aren't I? And that's not.
that's fat shaming.
Yeah, but it's not really fair. But like, I mean, he did exactly what everyone else did, and that.
Yeah, but see, I sort of think, and I think the idea of, fat shaming, I want to try and like avoid that, but I do think there is some onus on getting to a size in which it affects other people.
Yes. No.
Right?
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. But my point is, I guess, should the airline not say, "Hey, look, you're obviously a larger guy. We need to consider," but they didn't. It sounds like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I imagine it's not like if you're only taking up 1/3 of the other seat, I just imagine if you're at the counter and he's buying a ticket. Actually, we don't even know that because don't you buy tickets online mostly these times anyway?
Yeah.
So it's only until you get there.
Yeah, who goes to the counter to buy a
But
ticket?
yeah, exactly. I don't think anybody does that anymore.
Yeah, check-in maybe.
But even if he did, you as a person would have to like eyeball it, and I think that you would give them the benefit of the doubt, right?
Yeah.
So if I saw somebody that was like obese, but I'm like, oh, but they could probably squeeze into like a seat,
Yeah.
then I'll just let them up. But if I'm like, oh no, you're definitely going to need two, then I might say something.
I've made my ruling.
Okay.
I'm going to say that he's an asshole.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't think he should have charged him half the ticket.
Okay.
I have no problem with a bit of compensation for uncomfortableness, but I think half a ticket is kind of taking the piss.
Okay.
Because like that guy still got to the destination that he was going, and yes, he was a little bit uncomfortable, sure, but I don't think it's half a ticket's worth.
Okay, so do you think literally he had to be taking up half of the guy's seat in order for it to... Like, at what point is it okay for him to charge half the ticket's worth?
Okay. If it... Did he go into any detail about how it affected his, like his actual travel? Sure, he was a little cramped, I'm assuming, right? You've only got 2/3 of a seat, which isn't great. You'd be pretty, your legs would be together. You couldn't really open them and stuff, which admittedly sucks, and you probably get kind of sweaty.
Yeah.
But did he go into any detail? Because maybe if it was causing, like, I don't know, for some reason, like a neck problem or whatever with him because he had to turn his head, then I actually get it. But it also depends. Did he charge him at the beginning of the flight or the end?
I think it was during.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Because, again, if you did it before you took off, you're like, no, I don't like this. You're paying half my ticket. That is an asshole thing to do.
Yeah.
But if, towards the end, you're like, oh, hey, buddy, I'm really cramped and hurting here.
Yeah.
And can you compensate me some because you're taking out some of my seat? That's not as bad.
Yeah. But
we don't have these facts, Nelson.
Well, no, because I do read about it, and so he does say that he's uncomfortable, right? That's kind of the best descriptor you're going to get on, aside from the taking up 1/3.
Yeah, uncomfortable for 5 hours.
For 5 hours. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he actually says to the guy, Sir, I'm sorry, but this situation is not working for me. You're taking up quite a bit of my seat.
Yeah.
So he starts off...
That's not
with
awful.
The facts.
It's blunt, but it's not awful. He isn't he doesn't necessarily, like you were saying, like fat shaming is a pretty serious issue, especially within the last 10 years, people have really brought attention to it.
Yeah.
And I think the way he presented it is blunt, but he's not like, hey, fatty, you're too fat for here, and he said, hey, I'm not comfortable. You're kind of taking up some of my seat.
Yeah.
So that's not bad.
It's not a bad start. But the fat guy, he said, he specifically says he wasn't rude, but he kind of shrugged because he was like, And I guess if I was in the fat guy's position as well, I'd be like, well, I don't know what to do either.
Yeah.
And then he stops a flight attendant and asks, if there's any spare seats. And she says there isn't any. And then he says that the fat guy then seems pretty embarrassed. And and then the flight attendant's like, unless somebody else wants to swap with you,
right, just
voluntarily,
like
he has to stay there.
Maybe.
Yeah, I guess so. Do you want to do that? Go up to like a
mother
and be like, "Hey, your kid would be great next to this fat guy." So then he ends up saying, "Look, I'll put up with this if you give me $150. That's half the cost of this flight, and that would compensate me enough for the circumstances." He instantly agrees, pulls out cash, and pays me.
Oh.
He even told me he appreciated it.
Okay.
I think that's pretty interesting.
I didn't have these facts when I ruled
yeah,
his assholeness.
Because...
And I'm now leaning away from that.
Yeah, I think so. I feel as though he took the right steps in order to get to this spot.
Yeah, he tried to avoid it.
Yeah. And the guy... And he even sort of said... He wasn't even very demanding about the price.
Yeah.
He's like, this would, be good compensation for me, I feel. And the fact that the fat guy said thank you and gave him the money, because I think that I can imagine, right? I heard this thing. This is going to go off on a bit of a weirder tangent here.
We don't do that on this show, Nelson.
Don't
Please
we?
stick to the rigid topic that we have discussed.
Oh boy.
Nah, tangent away, son. We don't care.
Okay, so I remember that there was like this childcare thing in China, I'm going to say. And parents were always very late at picking up their kids.
Yep.
And so what they did was they started charging the parents like late fee.
Yep.
And then you know what happened? The parents were even later, because the reasoning was by paying the late fee, it then got rid of some of their guilt. It was like, because I've paid to be late,
yeah,
I can then forego any sort of...
don't have to rush.
Yeah, that's right. And so I feel like it's the same in this instance, right? This fat guy is going to feel real bad the whole flight.
Yeah.
But by giving him an out, being like...
I need $150.
Give me $150, and then that fat guy can be like, oh, it's I can like relax on the flight now because I've paid to have this now extra space, essentially, this privilege. And so, yeah, I think it's a winners all round sort of situation.
Theory.
Yeah.
So ticket $300, right? Because half it's $150.
Yeah.
And we were discussing that sometimes, we had heard that sometimes larger people have to buy 2 seats. That's $600. Maybe this guy is deliberately buying one, knowing that he can pay for just half of another.
He can just do a half.
And he's paying $450 instead of $600.
Well, then he's definitely the arsehole,
exactly.
isn't he? All right. Well, I'm glad we got to the bottom of that.
So, let me just say, my first ruling was a test ruling.
Yeah.
That was a draft.
I gave you more information
But,
afterwards.
yeah.
You always jump the gun, Cambo.
So this is my final ruling, and I will be a judge. I have my little gavel. The man who wrote this post is not an arsehole, and that is a final ruling.
Good.
The man who took up 1/3 of the seat is possibly an arsehole. We need more information. That's my final ruling.
Yeah, okay. We need to meet this guy. We need to know how many flights he's been on, how many times he's conned other people to just spending the extra $150.
He paid up pretty quick. Didn't want to get caught, it seems.
Oh, that's right. Alrighty. That worked out better than I thought it was going to be, so that's good. All right, Campbell, let's get into Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. This Ask Reddit is by Shallow Blue. You travel back to 1950 and can show one movie that will absolutely blow their minds. What do you choose? I assume their minds means the people in 1950.
Well, yeah, what else would it be?
So it's like, no, I just mean like it's just a funny way. Like it could, like who are you really showing? I think it's just a general bunch of people.
Yeah, it's like I would say that you don't screen the movie once for everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe you're in a traveling sideshow of some kind.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is going to be my final answer, but I've thought about this a little bit when the movie Infinity War came out, because it is such a big movie, and I one of the girls that I work with went and saw it, but she'd never seen a Marvel movie before. And I remember thinking, I wonder what that's like for you to watch this movie, having never seen any Marvel movie. Yeah. You must be so confused. And my thought is, imagine how confused an audience in 1950 would be.
Yeah.
It's like, they would be amazed at like just the concept of Iron Man. And you're like, oh, that's nothing.
Yeah.
We don't even...
You should see Hawkeye.
We don't even consider...
Bow and arrow.
But isn't it weird that we don't even consider Iron Man that amazing anymore? He's just a standard that we expect.
Yeah, okay.
And now we have him with, Spider-Man swinging through New York fighting aliens, and now we're like, oh, now that's interesting. But for them, who are so many movies removed...
Okay, yeah.
But that's not what I would pick. I just ponder that thought.
Right, yeah.
About how confusing that would be.
Yeah, that's right. It's a good one. And I mean, I think there's, credit to how good the CGI and such has got.
Yeah.
That would just be crazy believable at that time. Because 1950s. What's their like no television but movies, right?
Television would be starting to kick off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I'm not sure of the timeline of these things.
Because I know that, I'm sure we're going to get the timeline wrong here, but Elvis came up in the 50s and he was like a television staple.
Right.
He was on the variety shows and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah,
Maybe it was later on in the 50s, I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure that television, maybe it wasn't in every house,
but still early.
It was
Obviously,
early.
definitely black and white.
Yeah.
You know what the problem would be? I go back to 1950s. I'm like, all right, who's got Blu-ray player?
Yeah. I
This great version of Infinity War.
All right, I do have it on USB.
It's even got behind the scenes, guys.
Do you have a Dolby Atmos here, or what's the sound situation?
Really kind of adds to it.
Yeah. And things wouldn't be high definition enough. There's a couple of like obvious answers, like big landmark films, like like Star Wars. Even that was 77, so that's what 20.
Yeah, that's not
27
that far
years
into it.
later.
Do you think? Okay, how about something like? I thought about like sort of two ends maybe of the spectrum a little bit.
Yeah.
Is something like Interstellar.
Okay.
Where it's a crazy space movie that talks about the concepts of time and space. And
okay.
Because that is... Oh, maybe not even Interstellar. Wait, what's that one? Is that... No. What's the one with... Oh, no, it is that one. That's where they saved Matt Damon, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Imagine if they've in 1950 like, oh my God, that's Matt Damon.
yeah, that's right.
Oh, you guys know him now? That's...
Then we find out that Matt Damon hasn't aged.
Yeah.
And he's an alien.
Okay, here's my problem with Interstellar. Is I feel like film obviously evolves, right?
Yeah.
And that movie, I think, still didn't quite connect with audiences now because it was pretty in-depth with its themes.
Yeah.
And in the 50s, films are very much like, man meets a woman and she's a fine dame and everything's great.
Yeah.
So then to
They've got that piano going on in the back.
Yeah. Then to go so far ahead with, I think that would just kind of almost blindside people and be like, oh, I don't even know what this is.
Yeah.
Whereas if you did something like, say, like Jurassic Park, that's a pretty easy film to digest. It's not too. It's got a little bit of philosophy to it, obviously. Like don't play God and whatnot. Don't let raptors out of the cage. That's a big theme of that movie.
Don't let raptors out of the cage. That is a big number one, if anything.
And then the whole don't play God.
And then don't play God is obviously a follow-up.
Steven Spielberg's like, people have read into this film really weirdly in the wrong order. The thing I was trying to point out.
Yeah.
Just don't let raptors out of a cage.
Don't let raptors, don't let T-Rexes. Stegosaurus, fine.
Yeah. Triceratops, that's okay. They're herbivore.
Yeah.
That was my point. That was the point of my point of the movie was Triceratops are herbivore.
Yeah.
And then
don't be afraid of them.
They just told me to jazz it up and I chucked some raptors in the end. and then people just focus on that.
Yeah. God. But that's a pretty good one, actually. Jurassic Park, I reckon.
Or what if you showed them Jurassic Park 3? And then afterwards, you're like, I need to explain. The first one's really good. This one's not as good. But I didn't have the first one.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing, because Jurassic Park 3 is normally considered not great. Not terrible, but not great.
Yeah.
But that would probably blow their mind still.
Yeah.
Even Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, the last thing I was thinking. So I was thinking, So
Interstellar was one end of the
two end of the spectrums. One end of the spectrum was like some crazy space and philosophical, crazy science stuff, and the other end is something real art housey.
Okay.
And we did happen to see just on the weekend. We watched a movie called The Lobster.
Yes,
and I loved it. I thought it was such a good film, so interesting.
But it is certainly bizarre and abstract.
Yeah, one of these super weird things where like, it's just...
Give us your elevator pitch of The Lobster.
Oh, God, I don't know. Okay, so if people don't find love by the time they're 30...
And within a bracket of 45 days, I believe.
Right, yes. They turn into an animal.
Yes.
And so this guy has elected to be the Lobster, which is why the Lobster is the name of the film. But you go to this sort of hotel, and they kind of help you find a partner.
Yeah.
But it's just this, everyone's so disconnected and about, like, it literally is, the funny thing is that this sort of like metaphors behind it is kind of what we do when we try to find love and how weird it can be and how we have to have something like in common that, you know, we associate with
and how maybe if you have one thing in common, you ignore everything else that might not necessarily work as well. And like, you kind of force yourself to you need to be with someone rather than the person that actually suits you.
Exactly. You force yourself into a relationship by sometimes faking interests with other people as well. It's like
just not to be alone.
Just not to be alone, because that's the worst thing in the world. You get turned into an animal. And it's so, and then he kind of like runs away, and then he's, you know, says that he's going to be alone forever. But then if you've chosen to be alone forever, then you can't have a partner. And it's like this really crazy, totally crazy.
It is, film. I mean, this is turning into just a slight review of The Lobster, I guess. But it is a movie that should be really weird and off-putting, but it isn't.
Yeah, it was so engaging the whole time.
And it shouldn't be. Yeah. Like, there are moments in which there was a scene where they're at like almost like a high school ball. Yeah. Like, you partner up with boys and girls, and then that's suddenly interrupted, and they're like, it's time for the hunt. Yeah. And then they just go hunting people.
Yeah, that's that. But so bizarre.
It's quite good.
Yeah.
So you're thinking maybe show them the most batshit crazy. Yeah. That, or maybe like we watched the movie Good Time is kind of similar, like weirdly engaging but kind of odd and not quite
a bit
there.
Weird. Or Tree of Life, that's super weird one. Actually, that incorporates both. That's like weird, crazy art house, but also got these like science kind of. Right. It has just a lot of pictures of space and stuff, I guess.
It does just stop. For that, the movie Tree of Life just kind of stops at points and is like, space, eh?
Here's
yes, what's that about?
That's the best way to put it.
That's crazy.
Here's some planets.
Anyway, Sean Penn. Here he is.
So that's really funny.
Okay, if we're going spectrums and you put like I would maybe class Interstellar and The Lobster kind of similar, as in they are thought-provoking movies, right?
Yeah.
But maybe on the other end, you show them a movie like I need to find the right, like the movie The Waterboy with Adam Sandler, and you're like, this is considered a masterpiece.
Yeah,
in our day.
Okay. Yeah.
Really warp their perspective. Like,
this is where we're going.
This is. You guys have Citizen Kane?
Yeah.
It's took over.
Okay.
This one. And let me show you Little Nicky. If you like The Waterboy, you're gonna love.
Oh boy,
Little Nicky. You guys like Harvey Keitel? Oh, you don't have Harvey Keitel. You'll like it.
Just trust us. Yeah, that's good. You could just totally ruin the future. People would think that
film is dead.
Yeah, there'd be some sort of doomsday kind of device. They're like, we can't get there. We have to destroy the world first.
I wonder how many filmmakers would have quit that when they went on to make, masterpieces of cinema.
Yeah.
Like Francis Ford Coppola, who made The Godfather. Presumably in the 50s, he was probably in film school.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, this is what film becomes. He would go, no, I'm just... If this is what it's becoming, I'm not even going to try.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Then we get really bad people being like, like Adam Sandler. Oh, wait, that's sort of already happening. No, never mind. He's like, this is my jam. I can get onto this. I've got this idea where I play twins and
one's a girl and one's a
boy. Anyway, some good answers in there, I feel.
I think my actual answer is Jurassic Park.
Okay. Yep. Good. Mine is, I didn't really have one. Okay, I'll go with The Lobster.
Okay. That's a very weird choice, but I like it.
Yeah, okay. Okay, we'll just do a quick one because that one went for a little while.
Okay.
I will go with this one for a quick one. It was by Mr. Crash to you. If you came across a box with everything you had ever lost, what's the first thing you would look for?
Nothing. I'd probably just chuck it out.
No. Like
'Cause
I've lived my life up until this point without
like,
these things.
I think my philosophy at the moment is such that, like, if I don't need it now, I probably don't need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think there's things like, oh, I liked that jumper that I left at a friend's house.
You know what? Yeah, it might be clothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a long lost love though. I think my my mind.
Sorry, I know you didn't mean this, but I
pictured
a person.
Yeah, right.
I lost this
my
girl
God.
once. Oh, she's in there.
Jessica, where did you go? We were at the mall, and then you were just gone.
You were gone. And she's
Kidnapped.
like, I ran away. I didn't want to be in a relationship with you.
But
I tried several times to break it off.
But now you're just in this box.
She's like, I don't know how I got here. I want to leave.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have anything that you're particularly attached to?
Yeah, I don't have anything that, like, I ever think back and go, like, oh, I wonder what happened to that. Where is that?
Yeah, okay.
But I think that's because I think we both now just kind of value things that are practical to us. I think the only like decadences I have are like my books and my guitar.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I guess we have podcasting equipment, but we use that quite frequently.
Yeah.
It's not a necessity necessarily. Like, we could live without it, but we wouldn't be able to do this, and we enjoy this.
Yeah.
But
the thing is, it's like if I lost a technological device, which is the things that I probably, care about the most to some degree, then, like, if I lost my phone, I'd be like, ah, shit. But then a few days later, I'd buy a phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if I found my old phone in a box, I'd be like, well, I've got this new one now. Yeah. I don't need this old one. I don't really, I'm not attached to this.
Yeah.
As much.
What, maybe if I had lost some kind of expensive electronic equipment, maybe I would just collect it so I could sell it.
That has a good resale value. Okay, fair enough. There is a correct answer for this.
Okay.
And so you've got it wrong, obviously, which is money.
Oh, yes, of
just
course.
Money. I'm sure I've lost a few dollars here and there over this span of my life.
Yeah.
I'm just taking out all that money.
I reckon
like $1,000 at least.
I reckon I've lost a 50 before.
See? Yeah. You're already up $50.
Jeez, a free
but
pineapple.
No, well, you chose something.
I chose nothing.
You chose nothing. You didn't even look at the box. You did it. No, I thought of two things actually.
Yeah.
And they're both through guilt.
Okay.
Would I appreciate finding these again?
Yeah.
One is my dad. They both relate to my dad actually. There was a book my dad had, which was it was a book that had the entire Queen, best of Queen lyrics and maybe even music in it. Mm-hmm. That and it was just in this nice, well presented book of Queen's best hits. Yeah. Here's all the lyrics, here's all the stuff, and my dad specifically said to me, he saw me like just reading it one day, and he was like, "Don't lose that." And I thought it was a weird thing for him to say, because I'm like, why would I lose this? Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure I took it just it was
You look back at your hands, it was just gone.
Yeah.
And he's like, how did you do that?
I
don't know.
Yeah. I've got the worst superpower ever. I just lose shit.
Whenever people tell me not to lose something, it instantly evaporates.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't know. I think I took it to school once, and then it's probably in like a school library somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just like, I guess we'll take this one.
That is a weird thing to just say, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
You're holding something, so I was like, hey, don't lose it.
Yeah. But the other thing is, I used to have these things that my dad had that he had sort of collected in his childhood, but also I think my granddad had a couple of things in there as well. Yeah. There was like a pocket watch. Yeah. There was like a army medal. I don't know if it was real actually, but it's kind of they
just
went
military
like
service.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it because you get the benefits.
Yeah. That's right. Because my granddad was in the war, but I don't think there was anything of his actually.
Right. Yeah.
And in fact, I know that one of the symbols, because I ended up...
This was a quick one as well.
Yeah, it was meant to be. I took these to like school or something, primary school, and one of the symbols was apparently the symbols that and it had this like light aqua blue, almost fluoro a little bit, right? So that's how I knew it kind of wasn't real. It was just like a fake thing. Mm-hmm. But apparently somebody told me that it's what the like Nazi like pilots.
Oh, right, yeah, pilots, yeah.
Used to wear on their uniform, like that was part of their uniform, this sort of symbol. So it wasn't like the swastika, but apparently, and I remember this one guy being like, "Oh, why do you have that, huh?" And I was like, "I don't know, it looks cool." And it's my dad, and they're like, "Oh, really? So, was he in the German army? Was he?" And got like really
giving you a grilling,
weirdly angry about it. And it was definitely fake. And I imagined it was just sort of stuff. You know how you see like on websites, people post stuff that looks like a swastika, but it's not really intended to be like that. I feel like that's what the circumstance was. And I was like, I don't know, I'm just a kid. And but anyway, so I lost a bunch of this stuff. There was either my granddad's or my dad's when he was quite younger, and I feel really guilty about that.
I think I can solve your problem, because you're talking about if you stumble across a box with all this stuff, just go to your old school.
It's probably got everything.
It'll all be there. You seem to lose everything.
There'll be literally a box that says Nelson Allingham.
And get all the money.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, guys, there's no money in here. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I lost some money.
We kept all the money in there just in case you came back.
All right, Campbell, let's move on to Today I Learned. So now it's time for Today I Learned. What's the intro to that? Today I Learned. This Today I Learned is by Thoros of Derp. Today I learned a Harvard study found that hiring one highly productive toxic worker does more damage to a company's bottom line than employing several less productive but more cooperative workers.
So
highly productive, but toxic worker. And the funny thing is
than lower productive
but more employees. So
yeah, I believe that, certainly.
Yeah. And I actually heard this on No Such Thing as a Fish, that podcast that talks about interesting facts.
Nelson, don't promote other podcasts on this podcast.
We do Podnapping every week. That's basically promoting another
but we're at least stealing.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm stealing this. So
okay,
anyway.
I will. Let me get my judge thing. I will allow it.
Okay. Just so you know, if you hadn't allowed it, I still would have gone with it. Okay. I just want you to know I care little of what you rule. Anyway, they were talking, and I reckon that a lot of people listen to No Such Thing as a Fish, then find the source material online, and then get that sweet karma, Camber. I'm pretty sure this is what happens.
That does sound like something that would happen.
Yeah. But anyway, and so they were sort of saying, it's like that one, there's that person at work that's like the know-it-all, that like knows exactly how... I remember a guy who, when I was working at McDonald's, he was just like Ronald. Ronald. He kept juggling, and it was really annoying.
You're on the fryers, Ronald. Cook the fries.
But no, he would sort of say to people like, oh, you've put too much lettuce on that burger, and it's meant to be exactly 40 grams of lettuce and then 10 grams of onion. And you're like, nobody cares about these small things. There aren't people, there's not a boardroom of people at McDonald's going, oh, everybody's putting too much lettuce on these burgers.
And also, on the other end of that spectrum, no customer will bite into like, oh, geez, a bit lettuce heavy.
And the thing is, if you go by the sort of strict ruling of how much lettuce to put on a burger, you will have people complain because it's not that much. It's like actually it's noticeable when somebody's done it by the gram amount. And so everybody's just like, shut up, dude, you're working at Macca's in the kitchen, like you're not making it something cordon bleu something or whatever.
Is the phrase Macca's, is that an Australian thing?
I think it is, yeah. McDonald's.
Yeah,
People,
but
I think
just in
people
case.
know it, though.
Yeah.
I think people know that it's an Australian thing.
I don't
but
know
yeah.
if people know this. Hazim, you're our foreign correspondent.
Yeah.
Did you know this? There are obviously we call McDonald's Maccas as like a slang, but there are McDonald restaurants that on the side of the building just says Maccas.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. It's got just such a colloquial term that officially some of them are just called Maccas.
If you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah,
That's what happened. They caved. But yeah, so do you have, without naming names, and maybe you could go further into history if you want, rather than currently. But what's that person that you've had to work with that you're like, oh, this guy's annoying? Or girl.
I've had to work with one when I was a manager. And it was a girl, and it's not even that she had a bad attitude or anything like that, but she was someone that, like, if she was in a bad mood, it put everyone into a bad mood. But on the flip side, if she was in a good mood, put everyone into a good mood.
Yeah.
So there was like the two sides of the coin with it. But I remember just having to have an awkward conversation, being like, because she was kind of senior.
Yeah.
to be like, hey, just to let you know
Yeah.
that when you're in a bad mood, it then puts everyone in a bad mood. And it's that kind of thing. It's like, you can't really control your mood.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I'm saying this
That's
to
right.
you. I just want you to be aware of it.
In fact, as a managing tip, I remember saying that you can't control people's attitude, or you can't give feedback on attitude, but you can give feedback on behavior.
Yeah.
So like if somebody's in a bad mood, you can't say, hey, get in a good mood, but you can say, try to smile more. Because
you look pretty when you smile, love.
Dull.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's true. And I think it's so interesting how I just feel like everybody has that one person.
Yeah.
I remember we had a site manager once, and he was just the effing worst. And one thing that he did, which was he used to take
I think I know who you're talking about.
Probably.
Yeah.
He used to take a lot of credit for what other people did. And he was very good at manipulating numbers, in the sense that he could give you a reason for every bad figure with the reason. Like, he'd be like, well, that figure's bad, but this figure is very good.
Right.
So that kind of counteracts this bad figure, you know.
Yeah.
And like, to give an example, it might be like, your wages budget is way over budget, but he can say, but we're selling more, you know, which is normally like a legitimate sort of thing you say. But he was just like very nuanced at doing this. And so then there was a lot of people who thought, oh, he's a good worker, like from, you know, a head office sort of perspective, because they're like, oh, he's doing really well.
He justifies everything.
But everybody that worked around him just hated him, because
Right.
you're like, you do nothing. You take credit for the things, like, you're often the result of our bad figures, and we're often the result of our good figures. And yeah. Anyway, so I say fire everybody.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yep.
Start from the start.
Work for yourself.
Work for yourself.
Everyone work individually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do your own thing. I'd do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be an astronaut.
But just, you're going to build the rocket. You're going to do your own training.
Yeah.
You don't want to hire anyone.
Well, yeah. I mean, oh God, this is, you know what? I think I've chosen poorly.
Yeah.
I'll be a McDonald's worker
you can
in
do,
the kitchen.
I feel, what everybody does when, you know, there's no real skill set or anything. Just become a professional podcaster.
Okay. I thought you were going to say a teacher.
Yeah, those that don't do teach, that's the same.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Those that don't teach do PE.
Yeah.
All right, Campbell, let's get into shower thoughts.
Hang on.
Oh, there we go.
Shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts.
Can I tell you what just happened there?
Yes.
So that was almost very bad. I've got this little iPad in front of me that has all the themes tuned up, but in the top right corner is a little cog that has like settings.
Oh.
And I was just so lazily hitting it that I almost hit it. And then as it pops up, your finger hovers almost exactly over the delete button. So I almost deleted the shower themes thing.
Oh, you would have had to go manual.
Yeah.
All right. This shower thought is by Silly a rabbit.
Oh, well, if he's silly, why are we listening to him, Nelson?
Well,
Sensible Rabbit is who I want to hear from.
okay, this is by Sensible Rabbit.
Oh, interesting.
You immediately lose hope when you have to click on the second page of a Google search.
I feel the same way, and I was just thinking this before we even podcasted, about when you're like, oh, I want to watch a movie, and you go onto Netflix and you're onto, say, action.
Yeah.
And you're flipping through, and then we get to the point where it says more.
Yeah.
And you're like, I have to go, nothing is satiated me here. There's got to be nothing in this more tab that's going to satiate me. You've put your best stuff in the window display, and it has not provided. So I never hit the more tab.
Yeah. That is a very good point. It is exactly like window shopping.
Yeah.
It's like, I've seen your best stuff. If I'm not interested in that, I'm not walking into the shop. But I'm surprised. I can't remember the last time I clicked on the second page of a Google link.
It's because they're very good at analytics. Like, they know what people are looking for.
Yeah, well, I think for two reasons. One is like, I know that if I haven't found it on the first page, I'm not going to find it on the second.
Yeah, because what you do instead of going to page 2 is you change what you've written.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's how I get out of it. I'm like, oh, okay, I've just incorrectly searched.
Yeah.
Like, I need to search for something.
Because it's never Google's fault. Their algorithm is so good that we are wrong in what we're searching.
Do you know what I searched the other day? Which was like, I was it was for a D&D group, right? And I felt as though I had poorly explained where some people were, and it was like there was kind of this mound of rocks in a forest, right? But I just felt like I didn't explain it very well, so I went to Google to try and find a picture. And I think I did like bunch of rocks or something stupid, and almost exactly what I was thinking of came up in the image searches. And I was like, it is so mind-boggling that my poor searching has still prevailed because Google's algorithm is so smart. They're like, if anybody uses these combinations of word, this is generally what they actually are looking for. Like, that's freaking amazing. But
you know where I think this would occur? Is people that are looking for lewd material, but are a little bit hesitant to type in something lewd into Google. Yeah. So they'd be like, Jennifer Lawrence photos. Yeah. And they claim these aren't the ones I was... Jennifer Lawrence leaked photos. And then it'd be like, leaked photos from the X-Men set. And you're like, boy. Jennifer Lawrence leaked photos, not X-Men. Yeah, like,
and then Google pops up. And it has a little pop-up window that says, do you want to turn safe search off? And you go, yes. And then instantly porn. That is the only thing stopping Google from producing porn the entire, no matter what you search. Like rock formation. Oh, it's people having sex on rock formation. Yeah. Oh, I've got the safe search off. It's the only thing. Okay, here's another one.
Okay.
This is by Fleeing Magician. In 100 years...
Why is he fleeing? I want Sensible Magician.
Sorry, this is my Sensible Magician.
Why are we doing this joke?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if you can keep going with that one. In 100 years, someone will be really annoyed about having to go to the moon tomorrow.
In 100 years?
Yeah, it's a bit ambitious, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty ambitious.
I
reckon they said that in the 60s, and by 2060 we're going to the moon.
Yeah.
We're on the moon now. Oh, in 100 years we'll all be going to the moon tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. I would like to counteract this with we'll never go to the moon for anything. The only thing that I can imagine is like we've run out of prison space, and we're like, well, let's just send all the criminals to the moon. Like they did Australia, and just sort of see if something happens. Because there's no resources on the moon.
And does this person think that in this day and age, we still sometimes go to the moon? Just occasionally?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we haven't been to the moon in a very long time.
Yeah, because they've realized there's nothing there.
And it's expensive? And why? Yeah. Why would you... We did it.
Mainly why?
Humanity did it. Just to do it. Humanity did it to beat the Russians. Humanity was so against Russia that they're like, I'm just going to go to the moon to piss them off because they want to go there.
I like how America is represented as humanity. Yeah, like Russians don't clown. That's true. It's just not going to happen, I guess. Like, maybe Mars. But not in 100 years.
This magician claimed he was sensible.
Oh, yeah.
Yet he said a very silly thing.
Can't I lied to you. It was the fleeing magician.
No.
We should have known. Okay. This is by Mirage. Mirage. What do you got for that, Cambo?
Sensible Mirage.
Yep, got it. Cringing at your past self is basically proof of yourself having had character development.
Yeah, I suppose so. Is it similar to when you watch, like, say there's a TV series that you really like? Let's say we watch The Office a fair bit, right?
Yeah.
But then you go back to season 1 of The Office and you're like, this isn't very good.
Yeah.
Is that the personal version of that? What looking at old photos of yourself is like watching an old season of a TV show and you're like,
yeah.
Why do I like this?
Yeah.
This isn't very good.
Like, it definitely got better though.
Yeah.
I think.
Maybe I'm an asshole.
Do you reckon though? I think it's funny though, because is it really character development? Looking at it from that perspective, right?
Yeah.
Of like looking back on old photos and it's more about perhaps appearance.
Yeah, a lot of it's fashion.
If you're
like, why did I wear my hair like that?
But let's go with you're in your teenage years.
Sure.
You're 16 years old, Cambo. And as you were when you were 16, you were a heavy goth.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. People don't know that about me, Nelson.
Yeah. I'm just letting everybody know now. Real into goth and the death stuff.
Yeah.
Is that what they're into? Like morbid things, you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
the macabre.
Macabre, that's a better way to say it than the death stuff. And if you look back on photos, you're like, ugh, I can't believe I was a child that wasn't a goth. God, I'm so glad my character has developed so much since then. But then, if you then grow up, as you are now, a 20-something podcaster, the height of society, you look back and be like, oh, I was the worst as a goth. That whole phase was crazy. But I was actually better when I was younger than that, and I was just a normal kid.
So you think it's just a dip in personality?
Yeah, you've just sort of had this...
You're more or less on a trajectory, and sometimes you dip.
But I mean, like, you can cringe at your past self, but you could end up thinking that right now in future is your worst self.
Right.
And that was your dip, but you don't know it when you're in the dip.
I still think it is development. To say character, like, yeah...
I mean, that's like more about like looks, I guess, in general.
Yeah, but
like you probably still develop your character.
But like, I think that the person I am now has developed a lot from the person I was 10 years ago, to the point where like I have just like a financial system set up in any way, and I'm interested. Like I found that. Do you ever find that sometimes you're interested in something that you never thought you'd be interested in? Like you're like, oh, that's a good lamp.
Yeah.
Like, why do I care about a lamp?
Yeah.
But
well, D&D. I'm real into D&D. I never was before.
And I think that is a development of character. Like you've just naturally developed those traits.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that necessarily just aligns with like being embarrassed by a photo.
Yeah.
Because like you could be the kind of guy that's a party animal and gets his dick out every party and does the propeller.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you see a video from 10 years ago of you doing that. You'd probably still be embarrassed, but that doesn't mean you've necessarily stopped doing it. It could just be an embarrassing
still gets
thing.
A great laugh.
Yeah. But you could still be like, oh my God, I can't believe you filmed it or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not like an embarrassing photo isn't always, I think, a necessarily a signal of character development.
Okay.
But it could be.
I went off the photo thing because you brought that up initially.
It could be in the sense that anything could be a sign of character development.
Yeah.
Just knowing the things you're into as a teenager is character development.
Yeah, okay.
You were like, oh, you know what? I don't listen to My Chemical Romance as much anymore. Yeah. I guess I've developed. Because I'm a goth, obviously.
That's true. Yeah, I think it's true. But I don't know. I think my point is that you can cringe at yourself for something you've done in the past and have not developed that area.
That was my dick propeller metaphor, Nelson.
Yeah. Okay,
I just explained it
lost
better.
With it. Okay, do you know what? I think on this podcast, sometimes I listen back to it like, a few days after. I'm like, oh, like cringe at something I said, which was super stupid. And then I feel like I haven't developed after that.
Yeah. I like to think, people will claim it's laziness, but I think it's just, it's our character to warts and all that we just don't edit out the dumb, weird things that we say that are often mistakes.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, we're brave.
We're brave. We're pretty brave. Okay, here's one quick last one. Cambo, be quick. Be quick about it.
You've said quick before.
Yeah. Well, this time, don't let me go off on a tangent.
Okay.
This is by Mighty Mr. Farts.
I am fine
happy with that. Spider-Man has probably the most realistic first reaction to having superpowers, becoming a pro wrestler. What? The reason why I want to bring up this one is, what do you think you would do instantly if you're like, I'm a superhero. I have superpowers.
I'd exploit it for money, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
You'd be like, hey, morning TV, I can come on and do this amazing stuff if you pay me.
Yeah, that's right.
And they would.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would. Do you know what I'd do? I'd have people bet against each other. I'd start a bidding war of all the morning shows in the world.
Yeah.
And then give it to the highest bidder. Okay. Yep. Good. Yeah. Exploiting my powers for money. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That's true.
And look, fame.
Yeah. I suppose.
I feel like fame would be a byproduct of your amazing abilities, and I'd be fine with that.
But I think part of the reason for not wanting to show the world your superpowers is so that you don't become some sort of lab experiment. And they start, trying to work out what makes your superpower so they can replicate it. So
depends what my superpower is. If it's flight, and they're like, we're going to take you into the lab, I just fly up high enough they couldn't get me. Get down from here! No! Gonna do experiments. No, we won't. You got a net.
We got chocolate. Oh.
Throw it up.
All right, Kevin, let's get into podnapping.
Oh my god, I'm being podnapped!
Podnapping.
Podnapping. It's the segment of the show where we steal another segment from a podcast that we've listened to throughout the week. Earlier, I mentioned that we did an episode of another podcast. It's called Picture This.
Yep.
It's probably not going to be out for another couple of weeks at least, I think.
Yeah.
But the idea is that Nick and Lachlan, the hosts, they have a guest on every week, and they create... Oh, we've been on it before, actually, so you might have heard it before if you're a regular listener. But
in fact, we've had them on this show.
We had them on this show, yeah, that's right.
Against our will, they forced it.
Yeah, that's right. They were just in the room commentating on the same topics.
They brought their own mics. We didn't want to know what to say.
Yeah. Anyway, so the idea is you get a theme, a place, and an object or something that you have to use in the title of the film.
Yep.
And you have to come up with that movie on the spot.
Sure.
Their episodes last like an hour, so we're going to try and do this like way faster.
Quick segment.
Quick.
We're good at quick segments.
We're quick segment. We're pretty quick.
That reminds you of a tangent I have.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Yep.
Cambo, I've got the themes, the places, and the object or something here that has to be incorporated. So I want you to pick from 1 to 3.
Let's go 2.
Okay. The theme is sci-fi.
Sci-fi, great.
Now,
you mean like the genre of the film?
The genre of the film, yeah. Then 1 to 3 of the place.
1.
Warzone.
Okay, yep. This all works. Okay.
And then the item or something that has to be in the title.
Let's go 1 again.
Okay, Cheese Wheel.
Cheese Wheel, okay.
Yes. Really threw a spanner in the works, didn't it? Oh, Sci-Fi Warzone. That's just Serenity.
It's bloody... Starship Troopers. I feel like most sci-fi is some kind of war zone.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Oh my god, this is not original at all. In fact, in their podcast, the whole idea is that everything's not original, so we should do something original.
Yeah.
We've
accidentally come
yeah.
up with Star Wars.
Except cheese wheel.
Yeah.
How do you get in there? I was probably in the cantina. Oh,
Yeah.
never mind.
That's the deleted scene where Luke goes in and he's like, "Do you have like a cheese platter?" He's like, "Got a cheese wheel." I'll take it.
Oh, guess so. Yeah. It was cut from the film. Don't know why. It's very interesting. Okay. This is, you know what? I've realized that they've done something brilliant on their show,
Yep.
which is everything is far more abstract.
Right.
I've gone for sci-fi and Warzone.
Yeah.
It's like there's a very weird path that we could, a very like sort of generalized path we could go
But
down.
incorporating cheese wheel so much that it needs to feature in the title.
Yeah.
That is a challenge.
Okay. All right.
Because then I feel that already, because the genre may be sci-fi and the setting Warzone, but I feel like to incorporate a cheese wheel so heavily in the plot, it needs to also kind of be a comedy.
Okay.
know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah. I see.
Yeah.
Are they fighting for the cheese wheel?
Well, this is what I'm thinking, Nelson. Some kind of desolate war zone in which perhaps it's a war between the moon and the earth, because it's set 100 years from now.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. And everybody's going. Everybody's going there. They're so tired about it. They're like, oh,
Or
I'm so annoyed I have to go.
If we're going with the moon, as Wallace and Gromit taught us,
I
maybe
was
the
just
moon
thinking.
is a giant cheese wheel.
It's somebody's figured out
Yeah.
that the moon is
Yeah.
made of cheese.
like,
you just
guys-
had to dig like
Yeah,
6
yeah.
feet deep.
Guys, if you brush away enough of this grey dust,
Yeah.
it is cheese.
It is cheese. And they're like, what kind of cheese? And you're like, just every cheese.
Okay, let's say this: the moon is the giant cheese wheel.
Yeah.
I feel like if we're going to get this movie made for the budget we would require, the heroes have to be American, because it's probably going to be funded by Hollywood.
Yeah. Obviously.
So the Americans are the heroes, but
yeah. Russians are the worst. Is that
well,
what we're
no.
saying?
Listen to my
Humanity versus Russia? Is that our theme?
no. Listen to my thought process. If the moon is cheese, who's going after that? France.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
but there's French. Oh, can't
Sacre
get
bleu,
away.
they would say.
Yeah, that's right. That is. I'm pretty sure that is most of the wet dreams of the French people. Is that the moon is indeed
a big wheel of cheese, huh?
Yeah, that's
One
right.
day.
Okay, so the French, have they discovered it already, or has humanity discovered it?
Here's what I think: the scientist who discovered it, he is Swedish, so therefore he's neutral.
Obviously.
Right.
Wait, we said that we're never going to be Sweden or Switzerland again, because we always get the confused. He is a Sweden-Switzerland hybrid.
Yes, I forgot about that.
He's
ongoing mistake we made.
Exactly. He's Switzerland.
Yeah,
Okay.
Switzerland. So he's neutral. The point is, he's like, "Hey, world, moon's full of cheese. Do with that what you will."
Yeah.
And then,
okay.
it's a race. And all like a political war, and maybe even like a real war, maybe in space,
and
to get to the moon,
Okay.
to claim the
It's
cheese.
a space race, you could say. To get to. Is it about claiming the moon as your own territory? Like the Americans put in a flag in the moon, right?
Yeah.
Which I guess was issuing that they're like, oh, well, this is ours now.
Yeah.
Like they did with, land many, many years ago.
Like
I
they
guess.
did with the continent of America.
Yeah, that's right. Stuck a flag in it.
That's what England did.
Yeah.
Like, what are you guys doing here? Flag.
Yeah.
It's ours now.
Australia. Yeah. Okay, but so they're contesting that. Maybe they're like, well, look, the flag thing, that wasn't really much. So we're just gonna send a huge force there. The French are, and then
We've got a ship full of people and crackers.
yeah, yeah,
We're going to the moon.
Yeah, that's
and we're going
right.
to make a week of it.
yeah. Okay,
And the America's like, that's our property, buddy.
yeah,
We have that flag up there. Sure, the flag
And-
has gone white with radiation from the sun.
yes.
Still an American flag.
Still an American flag. And I think maybe it is a threat to humanity, even. Just the fact that, if you eat too much of the moon,
It's going to balance the tides will be off.
it's going to
Yeah.
cause all sorts of problems.
But the
French
French
don't care.
They're so cheese crazy.
They love the cheese way too much.
They will destroy the world
Yeah.
for a nice bit of Stilton,
Yeah.
which I think is what the moon is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I thought actually there's. Do you know in Wallace and Gromit he does say it's a particular type of cheese?
Oh, does he? Was it cheddar?
And no, it's a weird one. It's like a name of a place or something like.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway,
So let's say it's that because this, unofficially is tied into Wallace and Gromit.
yeah, that's right. It's stop motion.
We haven't
claymation.
we haven't asked their permission.
yeah.
But we will very much hint that
Yeah.
this exists in the same world as Wallace and
We'll
Gromit.
mention the were-rabbit just in passing so people know.
We'll mention that there was a little penguin that was a thief or whatever that other one was about.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I don't want to go on too long, but could you think quickly of perhaps what it's called and who might star in it, who might direct it?
What if we call it The Great Cheese Wheel in the Sky?
The Great Cheese Wheel in the Sky, I like it.
Yep, that
good.
works. Starring, let's say it's a dual lead, a man and a female as the Americans.
Okay.
For the villain, I'm going to go with I'm trying to think of the most well-known French actor that people will instantly recognize.
Yeah.
I was going to say like
no.
Jeanne Rousseau, who was like Leon the Professional. That guy, he was always the French guy in the movie. He's in the Da Vinci Code. He's in Godzilla. He's just like a typical French guy.
I can't think of who meant, but I was because I'll forget this otherwise. He was like the guy in the what was that movie with the guy and the who was a paraplegic?
Oh, The Untouchables.
The Untouchables.
Oh, right. Omar Sy, the helper.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
'Cause I was just trying to think of basically the only French actor I know.
But he's got quite a large build. He could be quite villainous.
Yeah.
Okay, Omar Sy is the French villain.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Can we make him grow a mustache? Obviously, that's like ridiculously
What else
comes
is he-
out to the side.
What else is he going to twirl
And he twirls. Yeah,
when
okay.
he discusses his plot?
Cool. Just checking.
Yeah.
And he's always drinking an espresso with a really long cigarette.
And sometimes he's just got the face makeup of a mime.
Just occasionally. We don't ever explain it in the film.
Well, he's French.
Yeah.
They're all mimes.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep.
So for the heroes,
we need, I guess, like an
protagonists?
all-American couple of actors.
Okay. Are we going with something? Because I'm thinking like...
How famous do you want to go for the movie star?
I mean, this is going to break world records, so
Okay.
I think...
So, like, who is like the biggest movie star that still has like actual name recognition? Is it like Tom Cruise?
Oh, that's pretty good.
Because he is a brand in himself. Him or like Will Smith, maybe. Like
Yeah.
these are people that people like instantly recognize. You don't have to be like, he was in this, and people just know him.
Yeah. You want to go with somebody like
Yeah.
that. How about I sort of, my mind actually went to like Channing Tatum
Okay.
from like, was it White House Down or
Oh, right,
one
yeah,
of
yeah.
those versions
Yeah.
where he's like, he plays the pretty like sort of buff American hero.
Okay, yeah. So it depends how old we want to go.
But
'cause
maybe
Tom Cruise,
less.
Tom Cruise is a bit long in the
Tom
tooth.
Cruise is getting there.
I mean, he still hangs off helicopters and flies them, and
That's true,
jumps
yeah.
across buildings and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's the most
well,
active old guy.
Yeah. So he's still cutting it.
Yeah.
But maybe Channing, because if this becomes a franchise,
Yeah.
which it might, because
Yeah,
maybe
that's right.
who knows what Jupiter's made of?
Oh,
Maybe it's cheese.
More cheese. Everything's just cheese.
That's a lot of cheese.
Yeah, and then you know what? We go around the solar system. Everything's made of cheese. And somebody one day somebody finds out Earth made of cheese.
Guys,
just hasn't gone down far enough.
We never dug far enough. There's a delightful brie under there.
Yeah,
Every planet, different kind
just
of cheese.
different kind of cheese. Okay. Yep. Good. And
Okay, so let's
okay, wait, but then how about a female lead?
again. Do we want to go with someone that's instantly recognizable, like a Julia Roberts or something? Like again, you just say the name and people know who it is, and that might sell tickets.
Yep.
Or do we want to go with like an up and comer to give them a foot up?
Okay. Well, yeah, if we're going for it's going to be a franchise, so somebody that's still sort of well known, but like an up and comer at the same time.
Yep.
Maybe
I mean, you're not great with actors and actresses' names.
So that's why if I can think of one, then it'll probably be suitable. Because I can normally only think of famous. Like, how old is now Dakota Fanning? I don't know. She's in my mind, always very young.
No, she would be about 24-ish.
Okay.
24, 25.
All right. Oh, so you're saying I'm in with a chance?
I mean, I guess.
That's what I was going with.
So you would have cast... Okay, no, I'm happy with this. You would have cast Dakota Fanning and Channing... Would we go with Channing?
Yeah.
Okay. Dakota Fanning and Channing Tatum are the American leads.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think they're the head of NASA. I'm going to go Kevin Costner.
Okay.
I think he looks like he'd be the head of NASA.
Yeah. Yeah. It's believable.
Yeah.
Isn't he? I mean,
he could be. And then the French villain is Omar Sy from The Intouchables.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
Good. Solid.
Great. What was it called? The Great Cheese Wheel in the Sky.
The Great Cheese Wheel in the Sky. All right. Cool.
Done.
Film done. Make it.
Okay. Picture this.
Print it.
Picture this.
Yeah.
You take too long.
Okay.
We did that in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Picture this guy. I don't know what takes an hour. I mean, come on, guys.
No, they're far better at it.
Yeah, they're a lot better at it, more creative. They don't have very generic genres like sci-fi and war. And is the sci-fi part? It's just that we went to the moon.
Yeah.
Okay. No, like laser guns. There's going to be laser guns.
There's one.
Okay. Also. Okay, never mind. Look, it's fine. We've done a very good job. I don't going to leave it at that. Okay, Campbell, let's get into the Ask Me Anything AMA, where listeners of the show, just like you, listener, can write in and ask us anything you want.
Well, you'll never guess who's back. Cousin Rowan.
Oh.
He says, gentlemen, picking up on the Area 51 theme from last week, which I think was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point.
Yeah.
Overrated travel destinations. Roswell. With its alien head-shaped streetlights, that place is pure tackiness.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, I've actually been to Roswell, and I can confirm. I know we're against tangents, but just quickly. In Roswell, there's a place called the UFO Museum.
Yeah. Right?
I'm like, well, I'll go check this out. I'm in Roswell. Mm-hmm. And I went in, you pay like $5 or whatever to get in. And then, here's the thing about a museum, is they have artifacts. And the thing about an artifact is the word fact.
Yeah, okay.
And there was this thing, and it was displayed in like a glass case with like, the proper little like plaque next to it with the description and stuff. And it was a drawing that a child had made from Roswell of what they saw of the alien. And I'm like, this isn't evidence. This is a drawing. I could do this.
Yeah. Kids all over the world have been drawing aliens.
Yeah, this is... So anyway, that's Roswell for you. Nelson, your views on the Eiffel Tower, considering you haven't been there, were bordering on the Billy Madison quote. You know the one, which is...
Mr. Madison, what you just said has made everybody dumber in the room.
And it goes on like
blah, blah, blah. I can't remember. But
anyway.
Can I... Wait. Okay. Whoa. You got to take a jab at me without me jabbing back.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, I stand by the fact I think the Eiffel Tower would be a totally overrated tourist destination. And yes, I know I haven't been there, but I stand by that. Okay? And I'm going to go there one day and then come back on the show and be like, yep, told you. Yeah. I was right all along.
Well, I look forward to that that rant.
Okay.
AMA 73.0.
Like, that's why I'm going to go to Paris. Yeah. So that I can prove that it's shit.
Just photos of you not impressed. Yeah. Arc de Triomphe. Ugh. AMA 73.0. I'm flying down to Melbourne for a 2-day business trip. No time to make my third guest appearance, sorry. Since when does Rowan dictate his appearances on this show?
I think every time.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. What are your best travel hacks? Cheers, Cousin Rowan.
Okay.
Now, Canberra to Melbourne's not a long one. I would say if there's a guy taking up party seat, charge him half your ticket.
Charge him half.
That's an easy one.
Before I work that out, you're not an asshole. Yeah. In fact, try to sit next to a fat guy. So you can get half your money back.
Because it's only like a 45-minute flight.
Yeah. And hopefully work pays for your trip. And then you're just $150 up.
So I do have a tip for longer flights, though.
Okay.
Recently I went to and from America. And on the way there, I tried the traditional method of trying to sleep on a plane.
Right.
It was okay. I got maybe 2 or 3 hours. Not great. But on the way back, I'm like, I'm going to do this like a pro, right?
Oh.
So like sleeping tablet, sure.
Okay.
And I did have that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking earplugs. I'm talking face mask. I'm talking, you know what? I don't like the neck pillows.
Okay.
But I do like just a little pillow to like just a little thin pillow to put kind of on the side of your head.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the neck pillows either.
No.
I find them far more uncomfortable.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I, in the, I think it's like a 15-hour flight ish. I reckon I slept for like 8 hours because I just blocked out the world.
Yeah.
And I about 3 or 4 hours in, I just took this sleeping pill, put my visors down, put my earplugs in, put my hoodie up, and just leaned back on my chair on my pillow, and I was out.
Okay.
And I'd never tried that before.
Right. Okay.
But honestly, like, fail to prepare to fail is very true with sleeping on planes.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. Mine's really weird. Actually, I think mine is it's kind of like a game to accept the suffering of travel. So, if I'm extremely uncomfortable, I'll kind of just like it's like a game to be able to put up with it. I know it's strange and maybe even just hard to explain as to what, like, how that gets me through it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like my stubbornness type of thing.
Right.
It's actually, I was talking about this on the podcast a few episodes ago where my dad and I were in the office and it was quite hot.
Oh, yeah.
And we just didn't put the air conditioning on.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like this weird thing where we just kind of sit and like accept our circumstance and like
That's a very
and that's it. And I think it's maybe because then when you stop any sort of suffering from travel, it's a sweeter reward.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, so I don't know. My tip is like to wade in the suffering.
Let me summarize.
The uncomfortable travel.
Now, Rowan, you've had 2 tips here. My tip was sleeping pills, face masks, and earplugs, and a thin pillow that'll actually get you some decent sleep on a plane for a long journey.
Yeah.
Nelson's is to just sit with your suffering.
Lean into it.
So let us know whose advice you used.
I mean, he's only going for a short while.
Yeah, it is easier to do yours.
Do you have any like packing tips or something? You know, travel is all encompassing.
Yeah. Put stuff in your shoes is good. Save a little bit of space. Put stuff in like socks and whatnot in your shoes.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I see.
Oh
what
no,
you mean.
so drugs. But I'll never check your shoes.
No. I was like, while they're on, like,
no,
you're slipping like pens down the side.
What I'm saying,
that'll be good. I've saved a bit of space there.
Here's a good one: carry a pen on a plane. That's always good. Someone's got to fill out forms. Like some people pack a suitcase and they put a pair of shoes in, but then there's just empty real estate in the shoe.
Yeah,
fill it with stuff.
Idiots. Okay.
Also, I would say that Marie Kondo form of folding, where she has a very specific way of folding, but it's very good for compact folding and getting more stuff in. So I would say use something similar to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Packing, I don't know. I don't really have anything.
Just chuck everything. Chuck everything, close and zip it up. Hope it's fine.
I did it for work. I previously had to do quite a lot of short trips, which is what it sounds like. And I used to just try and, only take carry-on is what I did.
Yeah.
And just like the minimum amount of stuff that I would need, basically, is what I tried to do. So that's my tip, I guess.
Don't take much, just accept your suffering.
Accept your suffering, is all I'm saying. Okay, I have another one here. This is by Sparlin, which was a username.
Okay.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
After listening to a few of your episodes in the back catalogue, I thought this would be an interesting question for you. If you were given the opportunity to ban one of the following, and you had to choose one, which would it be? Guns or religion?
Okay. That's a biggie.
It's a biggie.
Yeah.
It is a biggie. Because we're sort of against both.
Yeah, what does more damage? Probably religion. But
I
feel like guns are the easy one to get rid of.
But it's also
Like-
well,
like
I don't think. I
society-wise.
think it's like you ban it and it's done. It's like you eliminate it from the. Let's say you don't even ban it, but you eliminate it from the world. I think.
Because I guess this is my question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are people that do believe in religion that are completely fine.
Yeah, that's
So-
right.
so
Which I
you-
think is why it is to say should we get rid of it is
Yeah.
the moral quandary, because there are a lot of people that do benefit from
Yeah,
religion, but we know that religion also does some messed up
Yeah.
shit. Let's just
But
say
I'm
there's a
saying
lot of
do-
pedophiles in the Catholic Church. Is all I'm saying.
What my question is do more people benefit? Like, people would benefit from the church, but people don't really benefit from guns. I mean,
Yeah.
like, as much. I mean,
Yeah, there's hunting and stuff.
Yeah,
I guess.
and like recreational, like clay target shooting and stuff like that, which
Yeah.
is something that my dad is actually into.
Right? Yeah.
And I have no problem with that.
Exactly.
Kind
I
of side
see.
of it.
It's only the fact
but-
that obviously you can use it for evil and killing people.
Yeah, which you can use religion for.
Yeah, that's right.
Because before they had guns, religion would just crucify people. So they would still kill someone. Like, they'll find a way to kill someone.
Just with swords.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Okay, yeah, it's a pretty good one because I think if I was doing this and it had a retroactive effect, so like if I said to give up, if I was to ban religion,
Yeah.
but it went from since the beginning of time,
Sure.
religion didn't exist. I think I would choose religion.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think if it only acts from now onwards, I would say guns.
Yeah, I see that point.
Because I think religion has done a lot worse things in the past. And I think we're kind of going towards being atheist I think atheism is becoming a much greater belief
Sure.
in the world.
Yeah.
So eventually, maybe religion will be ruled out anyway.
Yeah.
But guns are like doing real bad stuff. And I think that like it'd be interesting to see if religion never existed, then what impact guns would have. Like it might be less severe because there's been wars caused from religion and things like that. So then,
You know, here's
I don't know.
Here's what I'm thinking, right?
but guns aren't that old as well. So anyway,
Here's what I'm thinking. What if you were like, all right, I'm going to get rid of guns. Like, that's your choice.
yeah.
And you get rid of guns, and religion still exists. And you're like, well, you know, like ISIS comes from religion, right?
Yeah.
And someone's like, yeah, but you got rid of guns, but you didn't get rid of bombs. You're like, oh no, they still have bombs.
Still got nukes. That's true.
Yeah.
But even then, it would still.
But if
be...
you got rid of religion, maybe that doesn't occur.
yeah,
you know?
maybe that's right. But then, like, will we? Is it human nature to just like hate people and other things? Like maybe, okay, religion, becomes less of an issue, but people are just more racist.
Yeah.
In
Probably.
in the end,
To be honest.
because like if you think about Hitler and the Holocaust, that was
Yeah.
about Jewish people,
Yeah.
but then
That was about economics as well. Though.
but even though it was about Jewish people, it really was more of a race thing as well, and that's kind of like intertwined, I think. So if Judaism didn't exist, then he probably just would have been like the Israelis or something.
Yeah.
It's
There,
like,
there would have been, because he was blaming them for the economic crisis that Germany was in, and that
Yeah.
just happened to be a scapegoat.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't Jewish people, it would just be a race of people.
yeah. So
Yeah.
So I think ultimately I'd choose guns.
I like your if it's from the beginning of time, let's go religion.
Yeah.
If it's from current day, let's go guns
Yeah.
and bombs. I'm gonna chuck.
Okay,
bombs.
put it in there.
Yeah.
And hand grenades. And throwing stars. I've seen ninjas. They can do some serious damage with that stuff. All right. Thank you, Rowan and
Need to get the screen name.
Sparlin.
It's hard when it's not a name, like it's a
Yeah,
screen name.
yeah, I
Nuts.
forget.
Unless I apologize if your name actually is Sparlin.
Oh, yeah, that could be. All right. Yes, thank you for writing into us. If you would like to write into us, you can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast at gmail.com.
Yep.
You can also reach us at Facebook, at Twitter,
and
our subreddit. They're all READIT podcast.
We have a subreddit. That's very clever.
And I know because we're Reddit.
I've only just worked that out.
Yeah. And please rate and subscribe and do whatever you can on your podcasting app for our podcast. We really appreciate it.
And you know what? If you like this episode, go listen to another one.
Listen to another one.
104 is probably fine.
Tell a friend.
I don't know what 104
Tell a friend. Don't get them to listen to other episodes that might be worse.
Right.
Okay?
Do you have one off the top of your head that you could recommend as a real good one?
Exactly. Amanda wrote in once and said that she liked 103 or something.
I wasn't far off.
107. I don't know. Listen from episode 100 onwards.
And there's a good one in there.
And then from our pilot episode up to episode 100.
Yeah. And then obviously you'll tell your friends to subscribe.
Yep. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we will read you later.